In this video, I want to talk about 764 and its cult creator and leader named Bradley Cadenhead. Now, to start, Bradley Cadenhead was obsessed with Satanism. He was obsessed with satanic symbols and philosophy ideology. And he was also obsessed with mass murder, in particular, school mass murder. And he had an obsession with sexually assaulting his teachers and killing all the students in his school because he didn't like them. And he felt jealous. It was, in a way, jealousy and hatred for their inability to understand or show compassion towards him when he would lash out. So he developed this deeper hatred for them, and it turned him into a wannabe mass shooter, which is quite obvious stuff, of course. But he also had an obsession with killing his father. He always wanted to brutally torture and murder his father, and apparently, I guess him using the some school tablet, he got caught. You know, I think talking to a friend about wanting to murder his father. So he got sent to some mental hospital, some psych ward, and that's when his ideologies truly came to fruition. That's when he became a truly extreme person. And I've met many others. I myself included. We many people I've known, as well as myself, have had these moments of clarity. These moments of change where we go somewhere, we meet someone, something happens, we come to some realization, and it changes our whole viewpoint on life, whether in a positive or negative way. um, After he went to the mental hospital, he met some people there who taught him. They taught him some things, and they influenced him. They gave him ideas, and I believe it was a short time after he left this mental hospital that he decided to create an online death, murder, blackmailing cult. And it was sort of taught to him by people online he met around the time he was in school, as well as people he met at the psych ward. He met some very disturbing people, beautiful people, in my opinion. I see the more disturbing someone is, the more beautiful they are in my eyes. As long as they're not evil, like very evil, and they like enjoy torturing children, right? Or murdering, random people, but people that are more disturbing, those off topic, I view as more beautiful, more elevated in the world. And so he met many different people at the psych ward, and the reason why, for those who are curious, the reason why he wanted to murder his father is because his father was abusive. His father, as far as I'm aware, was a drunk and a bit of a sociopath. He liked to abuse his son sexually. I believe the father raped him or would molest him, and he didn't like that very much. So that's when he started, like cutting himself and drawing pentagrams in school. It was his way of getting attention because he didn't like being sexually assaulted by his father, which is kind of reminiscent to me. That's reminiscent of other people I've met, as well as myself to a degree. So I understand where he's coming from. It makes sense. The more extreme children are, the more violent and the more eager children are to commit mass murder, mass school shootings in particular. Usually, the more they've been abused in life, typically raped or molested or bullied. And so he grew up in poverty, if I'm correct. He grew up in a poor household. I don't know if his mother was around. I think she was, but the mom and the father were divorced. And I guess the mom either didn't know or didn't pay any mind to young Bradley being raped by his father, I assume. which I know this is quite dark. I'll probably put a trigger warning in the title of the video. I'm probably gonna have to, but this is kind of the start of Bradley's decline. And Bradley, he basically, I don't know, after he left the psych ward and dealt with, like, police or whatever. He had all these different issues, people not listening to him being bullied, outcasted, whatever. He decided to create this cult that was dedicated to sextorting people, getting news from people, and forcing people to kill their pets, kill their family members, slit their wrists, that kind of thing. And even today, you can find 764 members that will influence, typically young teens, even children, to slit their wrists or murder their whole family or shoot up their school, or else they'll get blackmailed. They'll have like a nude or whatever posted everywhere online. So this is typically what 764 does. And I know this because some friends of mine were in these quote quote 764 live streams where people would slit their wrists or kill animals, beat dogs to death, or burn cats alive. Just very torturous, satanic behavior. Like slit their thighs or their wrists and paint walls with pentagrams, bloody pentagrams. Or go somewhere and shoot someone in the head while they're sleeping. Just break into people's homes and murder them and steal their things. That kind of thing. They would do really extreme things in these live streams. And so I heard about some of these things from some friends, and there were a few live streams that I checked out, where this woman was cutting her thigh open all the way to the bone and smearing the blood all over her bathroom shower. So there was always stuff like that going on. And so you can find things like that even today in these 764 live streams. It's also referred to as Harm Nation, or what's the other word? Or Harm 764, whatever. But basically, the 764 name came from Bradley Cadenhead, and I don't know why it was named 764. Perhaps that was the region that where it was founded in. I'm not sure, but it was named 764 for some reason. I don't remember the original reason, but Bradley Cadenhead, he had this obsession with causing the deaths of as many children as he possibly could kill, whether online or with a gun in real life. He always had this obsession with murdering as many innocent people as possible, and in particular his father. And he was born a psychopath, undoubtedly. Typically children that are raped that are not psychopaths will usually kill themselves. They won't usually have a desire to shoot up their school. So it depends on the person. And I can I'm a very what's the word, trustworthy source, of this psychology information, because I've been studying psychology for years. So you don't need to go to Jordan Peterson to find the truth. You can hear it from me. I know enough. I know the bare minimum to understand what kind of person is like this, what causes this, what causes that. I've spoken to several therapists for many years throughout my life, so I understand these types of things quite well. I could even kind of detect certain types of people just by looking at them or talking to them for a few minutes. It's quite easy for me. And so yeah, but anyway, sorry to go off topic, but Bradley Cadenhead, he also had this obsession with food. And you can obviously tell in the photo he was heavier set, and because he was sexually abused when he was quite young. I can't say Can I say? No, I won't. But yeah, since he was sexually abused by his father when he was young, and perhaps even others, maybe even his own mother or siblings, I don't know. He got into eating a lot. He had this obsession with food. He would eat a lot, sometimes too much, and so he had a eating disorder, self-harm disorder, which he got into like right before he hit puberty. Before he even hit puberty, he would like cut his wrists and stuff with school pencil sharpeners and kitchen knives, and I think it was around that time that he also developed the obsession to murder, his fellow classmates and teachers. That's when that mass murder school shooting obsession began, and so he began to develop an obsession with guns. In particular automatic weapons, and he started to study serial killers and school shooters. He had a very deep obsession with different school shooters. And I mean, many others in the 764 group that I met, were the exact same as him. Um, all of them, they always had this obsession with either, forcing someone to kill themselves, or, forcing someone to commit, murder, or they were obsessed with school shooters, that kind of thing, quite typical, quite basic of you, right? But also, yeah, he had an obsession with forcing people to kill themselves. He always had an obsession with suicide. I know you thought it couldn't get even more fucked up, but it does. He had an obsession with school shootings, drugs, guns, serial killers, suicide too. He even tried to kill himself a few times by slitting his wrists, but I don't know if he went to the hospital. I couldn't find that information. But I do believe that he might have, once or twice. That's probably why it was publicly known, or he told the police about it. I'm not sure which, but from what others told me, he was extremely obsessed with suicide, forcing others to kill themselves, and he was obsessed with killing himself. In particular, he was most obsessed about shooting up schools and killing himself, like getting killed by the police. He had this very strong obsession with forcing others to kill themselves because he wanted other people to suffer more than he did, as he put it, which is quite typical, once again. Pretty typical 764 kind of guy. But anyway, that's a little delve into Bradley Cadenhead. If you want to know more information that nobody else knows about him or the 764 group, let me know in the comment section down below. I know quite a bit. I'm like a library. I'm like an archival system or library. I have all this information on so many different things. Any topic you want me to discuss, let me know in the comment section down below. But if you want me to talk more about Bradley Cadenhead, or specifically about 764, the satanic murder cult, let me know. Because I could talk about it all day. So if anybody wants to know more, let me know in the comment section. Also, check out my other videos. I make all sorts of very dark and disturbing videos, primarily geared towards sociological issues, psychology, philosophy, and science. Those are my main interests, my main autistic interests. Also, I believe Bradley was autistic as well, is autistic as well. I don't know if he got shanked in prison. I don't know if he like got murdered in prison, or offed himself in prison. I don't know if he's still alive. But where was I going with that? I forget what I was saying. I have dementia, I think. I don't know. Or schizophrenia. I can't think. It's hard to think. Oh, and by the way, a lot of people in 764 also turned out to be schizophrenic, which was, kind of a surprise. But anyway, check out my other videos. So, yeah.